Even with the fact that more Bitcoin companies have come up, you still are not a believer?
That's correct. I think maybe the government should keep issuing the currency.
Do you think that it should be regulated?
I wish it would go away.
Bitcoin is one of the hottest currency investments since gold. But not everyone would agree. Charlie Munger is one of those in disagreement. His partner, Warren Buffett, feels the same way. In this video, we're going to give you 5 reasons why Charlie Munger hates Bitcoin. Number 5, disgusting. The vice chairman of Berkshire Hathaway, Charlie Munger, feels that investments should produce and return. Bitcoin is something that has no intrinsic value, according to Munger, and is, quote, disgusting and contrary to the interests of civilization. To Charlie, it's vile because it allows someone to just make up any value they want, just like gold. Investments like land or companies that produce well and even better with dividends are the meat and potatoes of legends like Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett. Should we take heed? Does Munger's experience validate his words? At 97, Charlie remains in step with the investing world and feels there is no use for something like Bitcoin to really stimulate an economy. And we all know how dire that is since the pandemic drove the market down too. How does Bitcoin even help anyone except those who have the most and set the price trends? It really can't. While Bitcoin has seen a rise, Munger believes it won't last forever, and much like Buffett has said, it will, quote, end badly. Number 4, smoke and mirrors. Charlie is not too keen on the idea of, as he stated, shuffling out billions and billions of dollars to someone who just invented a financial product out of thin air. It is seen as massive speculation by this financial wizard. There is not much to it. The technology is fine, but this seems like a scam to Munger. It functions solely off of the excitement of speculating. Munger believes that it is only a matter of time before the system would break down, rendering cryptocurrencies into nothing more than vapor. The fact that the prices aren't reliable doesn't bode well for the future of its investors. These investors are really at the mercy of the modern flim-flam man. It used to be that you were run out of town for this, but now it has been normalized. Not only that, but Bitcoin has created a host of get-rich-quick success stories that are then blown up by the media. This serves to create this attractive investment that ironically becomes a gold digger. There are many that would argue that this is no different than the purchase of an IPO.
And Bitcoin and the other cryptocurrencies are also bubbles.
What tells you that? I'm just thinking of the millennials, the young investors who get so excited about something like this. What would you tell them?
They're excited because things are going up at the moment, and it sounds vaguely modern. And I'm sure the computer science involved is difficult and interesting.
But Munger has basically said that Bitcoin investing is not true investing and rides along the same lines as spec stocks because unlike stocks, Bitcoin has no real value the way in which IPOs are chunks of businesses that return in cash. Number 3, rat poison. Both Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett share the same feelings about Bitcoin, but Munger is a bit more brash about it, to say the least. Buffett has called Bitcoin tulip mania, which was a time where Dutch tulips became so in demand that the price hit a total of approximately 10,000 guilders, which is equal to the value of a mansion on the Amsterdam Grand Canal.
The tulip fever had infested a large part of the Netherlands population. Everyone wanted to profit from the rising demand for these colorful flowers. But now, the party was over.
Munger is definitely more raw, calling Bitcoin rat poison.
That people say, oh, it might be the next big thing. What do you think?
I think it's rat poison. Put him down as undecided.
This is to say that rat poison doesn't kill the rat immediately, but over a term of 7 days. So in this way, Munger is saying that the one setting the price is like the rat catcher. The poison is Bitcoin, and the rat is the buyer. Once they buy in, it is only a matter of time before they lose everything. As of this video, Bitcoin sits at over $59,000. Imagine buying 10 Bitcoin and the price sinking back down to $10,000. That would be a truly sad day for many. According to Charlie, he doesn't think Bitcoin is totally rotten in one area. He He said, quote, "The computer science that's behind Bitcoin is a great triumph for the human mind. That's what captivates all these people. They've actually created a product that's hard to create more of, but not impossible." Now, that is very peculiar, but they've managed to do it. So a lot of the computer science people love it just because it's such an extreme achievement of computer science. Number 2, immoral. Charlie Munger called Bitcoin immoral. Munger stated that Bitcoin has no desirable social purpose. He likened it to trading fresh baby brains, asking, "Would you do it?" The immorality lies in its lack of intrinsic value. Bitcoin can be traded in a bubble that does not add to the overall benefit of anyone else but the investors. As previously stated, Bitcoin is lauded as an achievement of computer science, but will that be enough steam to support it forever? Because of this and the bubble, Munger also calls Bitcoin antisocial. Munger also adds, quote, "We've got debit cards. It isn't like we don't have a payment system. We've got WeChat in China, an incredibly efficient payment system. China doesn't need Bitcoin, and if you have a WeChat, why would you do it in a medium where the value changes enormously? Nobody in his right mind would want a payment system where the very thing you were using went up and down by 20% each day." He continues, quote, "Now I regard the thing as a combination of dementia and immorality, and I think the people that are pushing it are a disgrace. There's got to be some things that are beneath you that you just can't do, and this is one. We do not need a gold substitute like this." Number 1, bad ties. Since its inception in 2009, Bitcoin has had ties to the black market, illegal activities, and purchases. This includes services that otherwise would get you in extremely hot water in a pit under the prison.
Well, Bitcoin is mostly about anonymous transactions, and I don't think over time that's a good way to go. But doing it on an anonymous basis, I think that leads to some abuses, so I'm not involved in Bitcoin.
It is estimated that approximately 1/4 of Bitcoin users are involved in illegal activity. ResearchGate.net reports, quote, "We estimate that around $76 billion of illegal activity per year involve Bitcoin, 46% of Bitcoin transactions, which is close to the scale of the US and European markets for illegal drugs." We can see the dark picture Munger is describing now. The deep web, as it is called, is the staging ground for all things nefarious. The attraction is the supposed anonymity it provides. Bitcoin is not traceable according to our research in most information, but Sarah Micklejohn, a graduate student at the University of California, San Diego, provided shocking insight based on her studies of Bitcoin transactions. Bitcoins are not as anonymous as reported. All Bitcoin contains a complete record of every single transaction. This is why Charlie Munger has stated, quote, "I don't welcome a currency that's so useful to kidnappers and extortionists and so forth." The 97-year-old Munger has always been staunch about Bitcoin's extreme volatility, but in this case, it is also the lack of regulation. There are many things that you can purchase with Bitcoin that would absolutely shock you, from marijuana to coke to gun parts and guns in general, all obtained illegally with Bitcoin. And with the addition of more cryptocurrencies like Ethereum and Dogecoin, it will make the amount of things that can be purchased illegally quite staggering. What do you think? Does Munger have a point? Let us know in the comments below, and if you would, please consider subscribing, hitting the like button, and ring that closing bell for notifications.